Alrighty, how you doing? I'm actually here. I'm going to attempt to show you how I make a boho bead. Haha. I kind of have my own way of doing things, so I just take scraps, either scraps of cardstock or this is a scrap from packaging, and I cut it to whatever length I want it, the bead itself to be. This is about 3 inches. And then I just get something around a pen, a paintbrush. I try to get something that's consistent instead of like a up and down kind of round, and kind of wrap it around that like this to see if I can get it round. You kind of got to hold it a little bit so it'll stay. And kind of roll it around on the table a bit. And then I'm going to, because if you want it really, really, really thick and really, really, really stiff, you could do the whole thing. I've done that before. A lot of people just use a straw. I don't have straws. I'm not spending money on straws. So depending on how thick you want the bead itself to be, that's how much paper you can put on it. So, and if you want it bigger, use a bigger, bigger round. But depending on how much stuff you're going to put on the outside of it that you're planning on, like if you're going to put beads and material or sequins and how big your beads are, that's going to make it that much bigger around. So you got to think about that too. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to take some glue that I don't have open yet, and hopefully this isn't going to pour out all over the place because I've been having issues with this glue. And I'm still having trouble with my eyeballs, so I'm kind of doing it with one eye shut and one eye open. So, and then you just kind of roll it shut and hold it until it sticks. Jacqueline, is that you? Hi, Jack. How you doing, girl? Miss J. Having a good day? This is for you, since you encouraged me to do it. So we're going to do that. We're going to see if this is going to hold, because I'm not sure this glue will even hold now. I doctored it up, don't ask. I was being a chemist today. So yeah. Get a little piece of tape and put on here. Just because I don't want to wait for it to dry completely. Now, depending on what kind of material you have showing here, like if it's really busy and you don't want that to show, sometimes I will just take like a white piece of paper or a white piece of cloth, usually a white piece of cloth, and glue on the outside of there. This time though, since that's pretty plain, I'm probably just going to stick my whatever cloth I want to put on there. So I usually use sari silk that I have, and you just kind of wrap it around. I will normally put it over the edge of the bead a little bit at the top, because I never know, depending on what I'm thinking about at the time, what strikes my mode. If I want to put something over the top completely, or if I'm just going to fit something in. Sometimes if you just fit like a bead on the end of it, you're still going to see the end of your paper, So I just kind of do this, round and around and around a few times so you can't see the paper underneath, because nobody needs to know your secrets. So I'm just going to do this and do this. It looks pretty good. Now let's take and put a little bit of glue on here. Got Fabri-Tac. And we're going to stick this on here like that. So that sticks, so that stays. And there you got perfect cloth covered bead. Nobody needs to know what's on the inside. Okay, now, next thing I'm going to do is take some wire and I think I'll get my thin, I didn't get my thin wire out. I guess I'll just use this. See if this will take some, I'll just put some of the bigger beads on it because I'm pretty sure this is going to be way too fat for those little itty bitty seed beads I usually put on there. So, get your wire out. And make sure you give yourself enough length of wire, you know, to at least maybe go around your bead a couple times. Because it's, I mean, you can always put more on, of course, but, you know, that's no fun to have to do that. First thing you need to do is you need to pick out the kind of beads that you want. And you need to feed them onto your wire so that you already have them on there. So hopefully, I'm going to make a little bend there so that my beads don't fall off. That was funny, wasn't it? So that my beads will stay on my wire. There. We're going to go down to this end. And we're going to pick out some smaller beads. Some of these are really big ones, but actually that's a button. That could be cute too. You could put buttons on them. You can put any kind of charms on them that you would want. The only thing is that you want that it will fit on your bead and on your wire. Now, if I had my really thin wire, I've got some real thin wire that I normally use, and I totally forgot I was trying to say I need to get everything out that I need to use. I forgot to get my thin wire out, but I normally use real thin wire to wrap around the bead because the seed beads will fit right on that. And obviously I can't see anything because, you know, I'm having issues with my eyeballs lately, so that's okay. We're still plugging along. We're still pushing. So seed however many beads you want, and the size of your beads on here too is also going to make a difference because seed beads are a lot smaller and you can put a lot more on here around your bead because they don't obviously take up as much space, but these are going to take up more space. But we're just going to get all kinds of different ones and put on here because that's my thing. I like different. I like to use lots of colors and, you know, see, this one's not happy on here. I don't like that one. We don't like that one. We're going to get a different one. And you could put glue sequins on. I learned to do this just by, you know, watching different people on the internet, and, you know, I'm impatient, so I just jump in and do everything because that's me. But it's really not too hard to do. It's not too bad. It's a lot easier to do when you can see really well what you're doing. But yeah, it's easier if you know your beads are going to fit on your wire also. So yeah, let's see. Now it's hooked on the other piece. We are having a day, people. I finally got my new glasses. I went and got them yesterday, and I don't know that they are helping all that much, but they said it'd take a while to get used to them. So I'm going to take their word for it, you know, because they said it'll take a couple weeks. But boy, telling you what, it is not an easy thing to do. So I don't like that one either. See, if I don't like it, I just put it back away. me and the beads are not cooperating today. I should have done this ahead of time, huh? That's okay. That's okay. We'll get him. We'll get it figured, people. Hopefully it will be a quick figure, right? Nope. That one didn't like it either. See, I know these bigger ones will be big enough, but I don't want that great big bead on there because it'll just, I don't know, it might look too chunky. That's another thing. You want to make sure you don't want it too chunky, and you don't want them to be too big and overpower everything else. But honestly, I feel like you can put anything on there that you want to because it's your project and your bead. So that's that. Let's see, what else can we put on here? And I'm just having a rough way to go. Okay, here we go. All right, now what I do, I try to make sure I don't have, I kind of hook my hook on my paper bead on the inside there and hold on to it, and then you just start wrapping and you kind of feed your beads along as you go so that they're kind of sort of evenly separated, but you know, kind of random too. And you want it to be kind of tight, like this, so that they don't get too loose. And then I go around this way, and I'll go around this way, and then you just go around the bottom a couple times, make it tight, and then you start on your way back up the bead, and then try to make your beads random where you don't have a bead at, like this. And I know you guys are probably talking in chat, and hi everybody that's here, but my camera's here, my chat's over yonder on my computer. I haven't got that part figured out yet. So, but hi, thank you for coming and watching. I appreciate it so much. It really, really, really means a lot to me. And then we're going to come back around here and back down. See, we kind of missed that area there. And once you get it all on there, you can adjust it too. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to bend it down and stick it inside the hole. So it's kind of secured there, like that. And I'm going to use my pinchers. Pull a little bit and then just make it a little tight against the bead. Now that's to start with. Okay. And we can adjust our beads around here, you know, so that there's some, you know, a few everywhere. And you can also, you can wrap more wire on here, which I'm probably going to do. And we can just move that around. Adjust your beads the way you want them. And then we're going to put some of this on there. This is some new wire I got. I'm not sure which. I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to bring it around and just kind of wrap it around so that my beads kind of stay where I put them. Kind of secures everything. And you don't want to wrap your bracelet in it like I just tried to do. But that's okay. And then we're going to wrap it here. And once again, I'm going to bend the top of it and I'm going to stick it down in the bead hole. Now that's my basic bead. Then I'm going to decide what kind of, do I want danglies hanging off of my bead? Do I want ribbon hanging off of my bead? We can add more sari silk. I've got some blue laying here. I'm going to take and just attach it right here at the top a little bit so it's kind of fastened on. You don't need a lot of glue, just a little bit. Stick it on there. And you just keep wrapping and layering and wrapping and layering, and just keeps going around and around as the world turns, right? And then you do that because it comes undone. But yeah, we'll get it back. We'll get it to stick. Have no fear. It will stick here. Now, if you want to, you can make like like little, take your head pins and stuff, and your eye pins, and feed beads onto those to make little danglies that hang off the end. The idea is to just kind of try to get it all secure, which, I just kind of do whatever I can to get everything all fixed up and secure and make sure it's all going to stay put. I am not a jewelry maker. This just happens to be something that I like to doing, and I thought I'd try it, and I had fun doing it. So that's how I did it. And that's that bead. Now I got fuzzy stuff I can put off on it, like yarn. I got some scrubby yarn that I can wrap around it to make it look, frilly and frizzy, and I've got other types of sari silk that I could put on here, like a piece of this purple. You could kind of twist it up to make it not so big. I've got a piece of yellow that could go on there. It might be pretty. And some of this has sequins and pretty things on it. And so if you want to make sure that you don't have to, but sometimes you might want to make sure they stick out and you can see them, that they're visible on the bead before you wrap it and attach it, So you can just kind of do like that. And that's going to stick right there where I put it because I said so. Yeah. I'm obviously having issues because I can't see, but that's okay. It's not that I can't see. It's that I'm seeing double, which really bites. So we're going to kind of wrap this around, make it a little bit smaller. I think I'll go, actually, what I want to do is I want to go this way because everything else was going the other direction. So we're going to go this direction this time. And here's one of those little pretties. So we're going to take and put the little pretty right there. Just like that. What do you think? Does it work for y'all? I think it's kind of pretty. All right, now when I go through my beads, I just use a long piece of wire. I don't have eye pins or head pins or anything that are that long. All mine are just regular size, so I just put a piece through there that Make sure everything's tucked in and glued in because I want it to stay. I don't want it to unravel, you know. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some, I think I'll use this gold, and we'll find a cap. I got bead caps somewhere and bead cones. And here I tried to make sure I got everything out ahead of time. Excuse me. So I wouldn't have to go digging in my drawers. My drawers, not my underwear, my drawers, shelves. Let's see. Gold. And I have to sit here and kind of check out which ones will fit and which ones don't fit. And some of my, depending, are too big or too small, or, you know. You guys all know how that goes. You're all crafters. You know, everything's always a little different. I'm going to stick this through here before I can't get it in there. All right, there we go. Okay, now I could put a big bead just right on the end. You can put an end cap on the end, like this. I can put this on here, but it's not going to be, it's definitely not going to be big enough. So what we're going to do is, we're going to wish that wouldn't have come out of there, is what we're going to do. All right, back through you go. This wire is a lot softer than I thought it was when I got it. And I haven't been able, I haven't really went anywhere to find any gold wire that's not so soft that when you could blow on it and it would bend, kind of like this is. Here we go. All right. That stuff needs to stay out of the way. Let's put a big bead on the end, like this one. And that's going to cover our end up of our bead, like that. And then let's see, what do we want to put on this end? Maybe one like this with the gold on it, if I can see the hole. Oh, well, yeah. When you look in the right place. Yeah, right, Heidi, good job. Okay, now I'm going to take this thing and make a loop. And I usually take my wire and wrap it around several times just to make sure that it's secured. And then cut the rest of the extra off. Like that. And tighten it up a little bit so don't have any pokey sticking out so nobody gets cut or scratched or anything like that. I usually test it with my finger and make sure it's going to be okay. Now I want this end to be tight. So I pull it through. And we're going to do basically the same thing, except you have to do it closer to the bead because you want it to get tight and you don't want it to be loose when you get done wrapping. So we'll just wrap it around a few times. And then we'll cut it off again. And there's that. That right there is the official start of your boho bead. And it's all nice and tight. It's not loose on there. And your ends are both covered up. And now you can add whatever you want to the top to the bottom. Now usually at the top I would put probably a cone of some sort, or and then the lobster claw, a big lobster claw on there, so you can attach it to the journal or to wherever you're going to use it at. And with these, with the cones, you can, put your cone up through there, attach it, your ring, your pin through the ring and up through the cone. And like I said, I'm not a jewelry maker, so I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants and do my own thing. So, and this will be here, like so. Here. Gotta think now. Because now I gotta figure out how to get this on here intelligently. Let's see. Gotta come up through here. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to do this. See, and I do things, I just kind of do things my own way, so I don't know the official ways to do whatever, because I'm not an official person. I'm just me. Which some people like. So I'm going to hook the eye bead, or eye pin on there, because I'm going to stick that pin up through that bead, through that cone. And I want the cone to come down over all this stuff. And it will. We're going to make it. Ta-da! See? And there we have a cone. And I do the same thing with my head pins that I just do with the wire. I just kind of try to attach them all. I've got some of those, what are they called? The ring makers, that you can use, but they're so hard to use because you have to have a Goliath hand to get your hand on that thing to get it to work right. It's really tough to use. So there's that part. And then we'll get a a ring, a jump ring, and attach to it with the lobster claw. I'm not even sure I got those out. My lobster claws. See, and it takes all this stuff just to do this. Because if you're like me, you can't make anything the same ever. You know, so I have to have all this different stuff so that everything looks different. And it all is individual. And yeah. Let's see. We can... Hold on. With my lobster claws. I swear I could lose anything. And I got everything in drawers, of course, but you know, nothing's ever where it's supposed to be, where my head says, there you are. It's always somewhere else. Lordy, Lordy. Even when I try to prepare, I don't prepare well. What do I do with them? Here we go. All right. Let's try this. Okay. We got lobster claws. Right here. And we got some jump rings over here. I'm going to use a bigger one because, I don't know, I think it just needs to be bigger if you got a huge lobster claw. It looks funny if you got a little itty bitty baby jump ring. So we're going to use a bigger one. And you never move your jump rings, like push them towards each other. You always want to move them back and forth. It weakens the metal if you do it the other way. You put your jump ring on, and then you put your lobster claw on, and you move them back and forth like that to get them together. Like so. Just like that. There we go. And there we have a dangly bead. Now, I could put ribbons on the end of it. I could put sari silk on the end of it. I could put chains coming down. I think I'm going to do ribbon on this one because it just sounds like fun. So depending on how much you want hanging down is how much you're going to cut off, obviously. Are you going to double it? Are you going to tie it? So this, I think, I will probably fold over maybe. So I don't want them huge, but I don't want them super short either. Do like that. And get the sticky off of there. Put it on my desk. That's where it belongs. All right, now I'm going to put these together like this. And I think I want to put them through, maybe through a jump ring or tied on a jump ring. I'm not sure what I want to do. Let's see. Got some little beads in here somewhere. I throw them, I thought. Or I have charms. Lots of charms. I think what we'll do is we will get one of these. And I'm going to try putting this through this way instead of with all the opposite ends. Because I don't know why. Because I can, I guess. Let's try it this way. Let's put a piece of wire through here. Like that. What did I do with the, oh, there it is. Couldn't find my cutter. All right, now let's stick this through there. Like so. Because I want the wire to go like that. Yeah. I'm going to take this off because I don't want the wire there. I want to use a jump ring. I don't want one of those huge ones, I don't think. These small ones will be good enough. I know I'm mumbling because I'm trying to think and I'm not used to doing this and I'm nervous and yeah. I'm just trying to get these two apart now. All right, there we go. All right. Now, let's see. Let's open this up so we can get our bead attached and our ribbon attached like this. And let's see, I want a clip so I can clip this so this bead don't slide off of here. And then I'm going to attach this, hang this on here, and I'm going to put the jump ring back together, wiggling it back and forth. You just want to work it together so that it's like that. Okay, there. Now, there's that. And I think what would be kind of pretty is, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe we don't need to put chain on there. What do you think? Put charms on it and stuff. I think we'll just leave it like it is. And I'm going to wrap this down here with a piece of wire and secure that. Like this. Just remember that it's your bead and you got to do what you like to do. Whatever you do is fine. And they're really pretty easy to make, actually. Sometimes they take a lot of time, especially if you're getting like really intricate with it, or, or if you do stuff and it doesn't work, like sometimes like I do, and then you have to redo it, that's always a possibility too. But hey, that's the name of the game. Let's see. My eyes are messing with me now. I can't see what I'm doing. Gotta make it tight on there so I can wrap it around. All right, let's see here. There we go. Now we're cooking. Couldn't get it to wrap a second ago. Or am I wrapping? Maybe I'm not wrapping yet. No. Being hateful. So when all else fails, you sit and stick your tongue out and make it work, right? Yeah, like that. Let's make it look pretty. Down. And then you can come back up. Like that. And you want to make sure that you get your sharp edges either cut so that they're not, or tucked in, or squished in, or something, because you don't want anybody getting cut or scratched or whatever. So. And adjust it the way that you want to adjust it, you know? Adjust it the way that you can. Yeah. And now we have one official bead. Ta-da! What do you think?
Cool.
Cool. And it's about...
Very nice.
It is about, let's see, from the very top of the lobster claw to the end of the tail, it's about 10 inches. So you could cut it off a little bit, or you could make your bead shorter. You know, you could, there's lots of things you could do to shorten it up. You could take the cone off and, you know, use a smaller thing. But yeah, there we go. That's our bead. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye.